In today's video, we're going to be taking a closer look at the story of one of Chicago's most legendary rappers, man. And this is a story that's very close to a lot of people's hearts. Anybody that's followed the Chicago drill scene over the last, decade plus that it's really been going on, this is a name that you're definitely going to be familiar with. This is somebody whose story, I got to say, probably hundreds of people have DM'd me, messaged me, commented, asking me to break down the story of this person. And today, just in a little throwback breakdown in the same style of the videos that I've been doing on this channel, I'm just going to give you guys a quick rundown of the story of Fredo Santana, man. This is a legendary artist coming out of Chicago, okay, gone far too soon, man. You know, he passed away at the start of 2018. He's been dearly missed. There's been a big hole in the Chicago drill scene that nobody's really been able to fill quite the same way as Fredo did, man. And it is a really sad story how everything played out. So he was actually the older cousin of Chief Keef, right? So obviously Chief Keef, really the most legendary rapper in the Chicago drill scene. Really pioneered Chicago drill for what it was. Maybe didn't invent it. There was a guy called Pac-Man that people say was kind of making drill and talking about drill before drill was even drill. But Sosa, Big Chief Keef, man, he's the guy that really made it happen. And Fredo was his older cousin, man. They were seen in throwback pics from way back, back in 2011 before Chicago drill blew up. People don't even know. The guys in these pictures, they don't even know how big they're supposed to be. They don't even know within a year of these pictures, they're going to be trending topics, man. And Fredo would be seen, all over the internet with the likes of Sosa, Chief Keef, and of course, Lil Reese too. Okay, this is a little throwback clip of them all together on O Block all the way back in 2011, man. These are legendary moments from the archives, Put myself out of the way a little bit.
You working hard, man. Tell you, man. 100,000 hit ass nigga. You get 100,000 every video we put up.
It's a fucking trip. It's like real nigga shit. I fuck with them young niggas, my nigga. That's all I fuck with, my nigga. I ain't on the game. Cockin' young hyenas around me, my nigga. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I like them young hyenas, man.
Santana out here, man, Cooler, man, got my boy Reese Smack Boy out here, man. We out here, man.
I just want you guys to understand, man, like, this was a different time, man. This was a simpler time. These guys didn't even know that they were laying the foundations for what would eventually be one of the most impactful subgenres of hip hop in history, man. These guys were building brick by brick, video by video, vlog by vlog, the foundations of what Chicago drill came to be, man. It's crazy to look back on these moments.
And my little niggas hungry. Man, it's nothing, man. Hell, chill, bitch.
The real niggas lie down. Two of my gang got shot down. Who did it? Can't talk now. Who did it? Can't talk now. Who did it? Who did it?
I'm finna go in the Wick, man. We had on them video shoot, man. We in the hood.
It be them drillers.
They're going into the Wick, man. Wick City. That's what O Block was before. Before O Block was O Block, it was Wick City, man. Wild, insane, and crazy city. And even back then, they're saying we're going into the Wick, man. This real serious stepping that's going on in this right now.
We locked up in them feds, nigga.
Where we at?
They bitches, get out there. We slipping, doing temp shit, just murder. Shout out my nigga, murder L.
What?
And this was back when you could just walk straight into O Block. Now it's got a whole, it's like Area 51 in over in O Block, man. The secure perimeter. I've done too many bodies done dropped since this vlog to people just be walking in there like that, man.
Shout out to Rich, man, that ride. Me and my niggas.
Classic O Block footage, man. Classic O Block footage. Hopefully I didn't have to remove that clip for copyright, but if you didn't see that, you have to go look this one up yourself, man. But Fredo Santana, man, he was around, he was around serious situations ever since he was a baby, okay? This picture was going around Fredo Santana and his father. Now, I see in the comments, this was 5 years ago this was posted, but when this was posted, people in the comments are saying his father's still alive. Now, imagine, look, I'll keep it real with you, okay? I don't ever claim to be from the streets, but none of my baby pictures got nobody toting a pistol in it, okay? This really just going to show you the environment and the background that Fredo Santana actually came from, He done grown up. When he was growing up, he done seen a lot of scary sights. He ain't even old enough to talk. He ain't even old enough to say cat, dog, mouse. And he got straps in his face, man. So this is the come up that he had. And he was clearly deep in the streets himself. He had an extensive array of mugshots that leaked over the years. Okay, he done had a whole bunch of charges. All right, cannabis possession. What else? He get criminal trespass. This was arrested for a warrant. Cannabis possession. Cannabis. He be smoking out, man. He be smoking out the pee. Cannabis, gambling, playing a game of chance. Unlawful use of a weapon, aggravated unlawful use of a weapon, person, vehicle, and previous convictions, soliciting unlawful business, issuance of a warrant. Now, interestingly, okay, I want you to notice something. Okay? I want you to notice something from these pictures. Notice, we're going to play Spot the Difference, right? Can you notice the difference between these pictures and these pictures? Take a second. What's the difference between these pictures in 2009 and to October 2009? So between September 2009 and October 2009, something changed, all right? He done got 2 teardrop tattoos, okay? People in the comments noticing, they're saying, lol, something happened between September 09 and October 09 that made him get that face tat. 2 teardrops too. Bro must have caught his first body. Saying them teardrops as 2 bodies, man. Fredo 2 times, man. Apparently it's all real. He wearing it on his face, okay? So a lot of people in the comments noticed that, okay? And there's been all these rumors over the years. Now, after he passed away, it seemed like his brother Casper Boy actually confirmed the rumored bodies. He posted this picture of Trey Savage, Fredo Santana, and Future, I think that is. I'm pretty sure that's Future. If it's somebody else, I apologize. But he's saying, hey, foo wop. He ain't even know he was standing next to some killers. All right. People saying that's confirmation of the bodies. People saying it's crazy how much love industry people had for Fredo, even though he was nowhere near mainstream. He must have been a true stand-up dude. And as you're going to see later in this video, everyone was tapped in, man. XXXTentacion, Kodak, Carti, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, ASAP, Yams, Rocky. Fredo was tapped in all over. Even Kevin Gates, he was rocking with all the way back in the day, man. People saying it's hilarious that they're calling Future Foo Wop. He one of the guys, man. People saying Fredo, he does have 2 teardrop tattoos. And exactly, they meant what they meant back in the day. People know. People knew what that means. Fredo obviously killed someone before. I don't think that was ever up for debate. Okay, and they're saying when Trey Savage died, Herb said he stood on business and had an undefeated record on people playing with him. Listen, man, couple bodies in that picture. So they're saying, who did Fredo kill? Always heard he was 2X. So look, it ain't that kind of video. I ain't going to break down who did what or whatever. But a lot of people on Reddit have been debating whether or not Fredo was really like that, whether he was really out there in the streets catching hats. A lot of people have debated it. Okay, this post is from 6 years ago. What was Fredo Santana's resume? Through this whole drill wave, 2010 till now, I never heard or seen anyone talk about his background in the streets. Never heard about his beef other than with the Migos, and we'll get to that. Never heard about him fighting. I never heard about him sliding. But what I did hear, we all know this, Fredo in the cut, that's a scary sight. I'm not doubting him as an authentic street dude, but was his image just amplified due to the face tattoos and DJ Academics and the quote? I mean, in the same sense, like how DJ Academics branded Lil Reese the Grim Reaper, now he has a savage aura, but then he got beaten up like a regular dude. You get what I'm saying? People saying he was sliding with T-Slick. Hey, this is just Reddit. This is what Reddit's saying. Reddit's saying they got Lonnie from the mob. Cobra will probably explain it. But then other people are saying, people said Fredo was more of a get money type of dude. People were saying, hey, in the heat of all the dissing going on in drill rap, I never heard no one diss Fredo. Even when he died, the ops were paying respect. All right? As we're going to find out later, even Duck, people from the other side of the war, paid respect. They're saying he was just chill. That's why. No point in getting people to hate you. Not sure if he ever slid. If I had to guess, I would say no, but who knows? I do know why he was respected by a lot of ops. Duck said he respected Fredo because he never dissed anyone dead or alive and just did his thing. I think he meant we knew he was a serious dude, but he never looked for trouble, so we never disrespected him either. I do think he's a weird case because every other member would have just been called a goofy or not with it. Somehow the ops were not thinking he was afraid, but just that he was above the underhanded dissing stuff. People saying they read Fredo 2 times. They said they read he got a Cranktown dude, and then some other guy was slick. True or false? I don't really believe it. People saying the Cranktown body is not true. I don't know if they're going to post it here. But hey, that's what they're saying. It's like that. Front of it. Listen, man. That's what they're saying, okay? So, obviously, I showed you a few of his mugshots, but if he was known for anything, he was known for this, okay? This mugshot is iconic, man. People say that this mugshot, it might be the most iconic mugshot in rap history. Now, that's a scary sight, okay? I don't know how the cops even... I feel like they probably busted the camera even taking this, okay? That is some demonic aura right there. All right, people saying that is a scary sight right there. You will die playing with me, and I'll go to jail without care. All right? They're saying he's scary as hell. He looked like he did it. Whatever the charge was, he looked like he did it in that picture, man. That's what they're saying, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, okay? They're saying he's a real demon, man. So look, he started rapping in 2011. We saw that little throwback clip of him on the block with Reese and them, okay? But it was really in 2012 when he became a household name, and it was all from this song, okay? Probably the most iconic song in drill history. I ain't gonna say Chicago drill history, straight drill around the world. Everybody knows this song. I don't like dum 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 don't like. This song was going crazy. I remember back in 2012, I think I'd have been like 19, you know, I had my first car, whipping around. I was bumping this in the whip heavy, man. People want to make fun of me for saying stuff like that, but I was bumping Don't Like, man. I was bumping all of those classics, man. 300, all of that stuff. I was Chief Keefed out, okay? Back before, I never even had an idea. I don't think YouTube was even on my radar like that back then, but I was bumping Chief Keef. I was bumping Chicago drill. And of course, this song has the famous Chief Keef lyric, okay? Fredo in the cut. That's a scary sight, man down. All right? He said, man down. Okay? He a scary sight. He a scary sight. Now, that ended up becoming a real catchphrase, okay? And he collaborated with Chief Keef and Lil Reese themselves, okay? They had a couple of big songs in April. So, bear in mind, right, this song popped off. Fredo's got a shout out in the song. And this went on to become one of the biggest songs in Chicago drill. March 2012, okay? The day that will be remembered in infamy forever. And within a month, within less than a month, just one day shy of a month, okay, he was dropping this song, Beef, all right, with Chief Keef and Lil Reese. This was a legendary track. I don't want to get copyright here, but 300, that's the team, man. He on there. This was a real savagery in the flesh, all right? They not playing. They were not playing on this song, okay? Fredo in the cut, scary sight, Lil Durk in there and everything, man. Real Chicago culture, okay? And he followed this one up within a few months of this one, okay? And this song's sitting at over 10 million views today. 13 years ago, that dropped, man. Wow. Wow. And within just a couple of months of this one dropping, he spun back with his song, I'm going to say My Little N-Words, okay? With Keith and Reese, once again. And this became, hang on a minute, I got the wrong one. And then this song, man, My Little N-Words with Keith and Reese, all right? This was his song. This has got over 23 million views today, okay? It's a legendary track. He did his thing. Okay, he put himself on the map. And from here, he had an illustrious solo rapping career, okay? I can't go through every single song, but he became a household name in Chicago. People were loving him, okay? He became a legend. Just off of that shout out alone, he was a legend, and he spun a whole career off of this, okay? So he unlike some people, right, who get a nickname and who get a catchphrase and don't really want to run with it and don't really feel like they can really, they feel like, I don't want to be categorized as this. Nah, he took it and run with it, man. He dropped It's a Scary Sight, the tape, all right, Glory Boys Entertainment presents. Whole bunch of bangers on there, man. Whole bunch of legends. Had G Herbo and Lil Bibby on there, Lil Durk. Okay, had his boys, got Gino Marley on there, SD, all of these guys, man. Serious culture, serious history, man. He followed that up with his next mixtape, man. Fredo Krueger. Look at that artwork, man. Look at that artwork. That's a scary sight, man. That's bangers like Rob My Plug. You know what I mean? Had Soulja Boy and Tato on there. Young Scooter, Joel Santana. He really getting respect from the industry. He getting serious people on there, okay? So he getting love all over the country, okay? People are loving him. And it got to the point, okay, where he ended up doing a cameo in the biggest rapper in the world. We're still going to say it, okay? I know Kendrick's got his foot on his neck. But Drake, on his song, Just Hold On, We're Going Home. Like, when he was Drake was really a heartthrob singing to these girls. Even Drake knew the realist, all right? He said, I need a scary sight. I need this. This needs to be a movie. This needs to be a horror movie. Somebody in this video is going to get kidnapped. And we need the scariest looking dude we can possibly find. And that's where Big Fredo came into the picture, man. He was the kidnapper in the video. Now that's a scary sight, man. Straight culture, man. You got to give it to Drake. He been tapped in. He done put on everybody that you can think of, okay? So Fredo kept his career going. He dropped his debut studio album, Trappin' Ain't Dead. okay, with another spooky. The album covers are just so spooky right now at this point, man. But you know, he leveled up, he upped his game. This is a debut studio album, okay? He had a few more big name features on here. Pee Wee Longway, of course, Chief Keef, some of the guys, Capo GBE, Herbo. But he had a song with Kendrick Lamar, man. That track, Jealous, featuring Kendrick Lamar. So even back then, man, you got Drake's putting him on and Kendrick's putting him on. So there ain't no picking sides over here. And he was apparently plugged in close with Kendrick. They would take pictures together. You know what I'm saying? Even back then, they were saying Kendrick Lamar, Westside Pyru. Hey, I got in trouble. Hit a J3 that said I was in trouble for apparently making Kendrick look like a gangbanger. But that's what it is, man. That's what it is. He was hanging out with the real demons. He was outside. You notice he got the hood by air on. He was ahead of the game, man. People saying, damn, K-Dot was with that thing? People saying Kendrick don't gangbang. Hey, listen, whatever you want to believe, man. Saying Good Kid, Mag City, Kendrick was a beast. It was a dope time for music, man. I miss those days. R.I.P. Fredo and R.I.P. Mac Miller, man. So he was really plugged in, okay? They had their song Jealous, okay? That was classic. That did its thing, okay? And I would say around this time, look, I personally feel like Fredo Santana, his music, some of the beats that he was picking, a lot of people, look, we've been knowing that UK drill was inspired by Chicago drill, but I think Fredo Santana specifically, like a lot of beats that you listen to, if you go and listen to old tracks by Lowski, the UK drill rapper who was an iconic pioneer in UK drill, I feel like personally he was really picking them Fredo Santana type beats, and I feel like the influence really went worldwide, and that's something that not a lot of people have given credit for. Now, although he was doing his thing, dropping albums, there was one album that got away. There was one project that the people always wanted, man, and it never materialized, okay? They were supposed to do a Chief Keef Fredo album together, Blood Thicker Than Water, man. This was teased from 2014. People was excited for this one, but it never actually materialized. It never ended up happening. But behind the scenes, man, Fredo, he was respected by gangsters all over America. You saw him with Kendrick Lamar, whether or not you want to believe Kendrick Lamar's a gangster. He was tapped in with the Memphis GDs. Throwback picture here. These guys throwing up the rakes. So clearly ain't no GDK going on here. He tapped in all over America with all different type of gangs. And hey, if you don't want to believe that he hanging out with the LA gangbangers, if Kendrick ain't a gangbanger, well, how about this? How about this? Chief Keef and Fredo Santana were chilling with the Rolling 60s, all right, on 6-0 when they first moved to LA in 2014. They out there on 60th Street, man. They really out there doing it in the cut. Balling, man. Well, not balling. Cooling, not balling. But they in the cut, man. Scary sights. They saying these dudes was really living life, man. Hey, saying Brick Baby wasn't lying, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what, you know what I'm saying? But they saying, look, he really tapped in with the 6-0s, all right? And he was beloved by the guys in Chicago, man. When he was really doing his thing, everyone loved him. He was spotted in this iconic picture rolling around. That's Lil Durk in the car, man. Durk and Fredo. Fredo got the revolver out, hanging out the old school joint. You know what I mean? Little Durk in the cut. Got the red bandana on. This looking like a picture it could have been taken in the 80s. I'm not going to hold you. Like, this is looking like a vintage throwback picture. But this would have probably been, I don't know, 2014, it could have been 2012. I don't know when this was taken, man. But yeah, man, this classic. They're saying they got the donks. They got the donks up north. It's crazy, man. Real Southern flavor. But he was loved by everyone, man. He was loved by the industry. He wasn't just kicking it with Kendrick and Lil Durk. You know, he was kicking it with big names that you know today, man. He was kicking it with Travis Scott. Even Travis Scott, the most famous and interesting people who are at the top of the industry right now, the megastars, they were low-key begging it with Fredo back in the day, man. The industry loved him. They wanted to be around him. They wanted this guy around. They said, this guy is cool, man. This guy's got sauce. We need him around. Travis Scott, he's saying, well, I need Fredo in the cut, man. That's what it is. And it's not just Travis, man. Look, what would you say if I told you Fredo Santana, he used to live with Playboy Carti, man. Apparently, fun fact, according to Chiracology, okay, Carti was living in LA with Fredo before he blew up. And apparently Carti was devastated. Oh, my God. Apparently Carti was devastated when Fredo died, man. He was really tapped in with all the people. But not everybody liked him, okay? Not everybody liked him. He got into a wild confrontation with the Migos, okay? This all happened after there was a confrontation, okay? The Migos, apparently there was a little bit of sneak dissing going on between Chief Keef and the Migos. And in the end, okay, the guys from the Migos ended up catching Capo, all right? Tapped in with all the Glory Boys and all of that stuff. And they had a back and forth, man. And there was this incident where they had apparently had a fight in Chicago. And even DJ Academics was reacting to this back in the day and breaking it all down for people. This is like real War in Chirac era, like classic throwbacks.
Boy.
What? All right, what?
None of that, boy. You know it, boy.
All right, what?
You ain't say it, did you? You ain't say it. You ain't say it. You ain't say it.
So the Migos really stepped through Chirac, man, and really tried to put pressure on the whole Glow Gang. But it didn't work. It backfired, okay? It backfired. Now, Academics, this is back in Warren Chirac days, classic time. I need to subscribe to this on the other channel too. This was classic, man. And this was back when you had Academics breaking everything down, getting into all of the messiness with everybody, breaking down all these crazy situations.
The top savage. Oh, you don't. You know you don't. It's your boy DJ Academics, man. And listen, you know you done fucked up, right? You know you done fucked up. Now, listen, man, I've been telling y'all. Right now, the top goon in hip-hop, period. The top savage is Offset. Nigga got the deadly punch. His fucking fist is like Thor's hammer. He's out here knocking out people by the dozen. This nigga look like he got the fucking Popeye spinach in his fucking loud. And when he gets turned up, he's fucking everybody up. Now, they're robbing promoters. They're slapping niggas. They're gun butting niggas. Pistol whipping people. And now everybody was saying, listen, that's all cool and well. They could be the top 3 goons from Gwinnett County. But I bet they won't come to Chirac, though. Not after Baphomet say they can't come to Chirac and perform. I bet they won't come over to no Chirac. Talking about that with the O-Block squad on them, right? Right? Glow Gang won't allow that, right? Well, wait, what? They came? What the fuck? The top 3 goons came to Chirac? Well, certainly. Certainly, if the top 3 goons, Quavo, Offset, and Takeoff, if they came to Chirac, right? The Glow Gang, the Glow Gang squad handled them, right? Of course. No? What? No. Don't tell me this shit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you guys can see on your screen, apparently, Migos, the top 3 goons from Gwinnett County, they came to Chirac, they performed. There was no incident. Now, there actually was an incident or a potential altercation when one, and this is a Glow Gang member I'm getting, his name is Capo. Capo approached them, and just from the Instagram video, I'm like, what the fuck just happened? This is the first time I've ever seen a Chirac Savage actually just walk away. Now, this was a beautiful thing because I don't want to see none of these guys get into no incidents. And we know, listen, it looks like the Migos are the top 3 goons out here, and all these Chirac don't care about dropping bodies. So I'm glad nothing happened, but I was actually shocked. I'm like, wait, are you telling me they actually saw the demonic look in fucking Offset's face and said, nah, dog, I'm good. I don't want that nigga to punch my soul out of my body. I don't want that nigga to fuck me up tonight. Now, according to Capo, he said he approached the trio, the top 3 goons. He approached them in some type of restaurant and realized they had 20 niggas, which I'm a little confused by because if they come to your town, you got a whole fucking town. You got whole fucking blocks. Well, what happened blocks? Damn. But now, I will say, and I do got to mention that, listen, this incident went down. The Chirac Grim Reaper was not there. Do not fair. Because we know the Grim Reaper doesn't run from nobody. And also, a Baphomet also was not there. And along with the Demon, they weren't there. But of course, I expect the Capo to hold it down. But I said, man, listen, the Migos right now, you got to give it up to them. They just dropped a successful mixtape. It's called...
So look, DJ Academic's low-key, right? He D-ride in on the Migos back then. Okay. But Fredo, man, he clapped back. He clapped back with a savage IG post. He basically threatened. He said, yo, Migos, you're going to have to fight this stick. This was crazy.
Bitch. You know how we coming now. We rocking the Savage Squad shit, man. You know, pop your ass. You know, I'm in traffic. Play with me. Anybody. I don't give a fuck who you is. Fuck it.
So a lot of people said Fredo basically punked out the Migos, right? Because after this, he did a whole bunch of tweets and he basically said, yo, I'm in LA, stop playing with Capo on BD before I get your whole camp killed. Facts. My word is law, so don't test me. He's saying basically Atlanta took the L. All right. He done said, look, keep playing. All right. Keep playing. I'm going to get a couple more teardrops tattooed. I'm going to make it 5. Okay, and apparently a little while after this, the Migos ended up getting robbed by Chief Keef's crew. Okay, this happened, allegedly, all right? Apparently the Migos were robbed by Chief Keef's crew at Stadium nightclub in D.C. last night, okay? That's what people were saying. That's what people were saying back then, okay? Now, I'm going to move on from this because this beef isn't really that interesting to me, but a lot of people would always wonder, okay, were Fredo and Chief Keef, were Fredo and King Von cool? All right, because there was a comment, there was a one cheeky little comment here that King Von had commented on his IG post, and a lot of people were saying this was could have been negative, right? Fredo said, we don't pass blunts over, we too grown. And King Von tweeted, gang? with an exclamation mark and a question mark. Now, some people were saying the exclamation mark could have been a positive, but then the question mark you kind of doubt in his gangster, right? A lot of people said, okay, this is a good find because Von didn't really speak on Fredo after he passed when he got out of jail. Von was out during the time when Fredo passed. All right. A lot of people were wondering, were they ever close? No, there's not really much going on between them. A lot of people wondered, man. And a lot of people have speculated that maybe Fredo really wasn't feeling King Von because despite that initial earlier clip that we saw of, you know, Fredo and Reese and Keith and all them going to O Block, a lot of people believe that there was, unfortunately, you know, a big beef that blew up between Front Street and O Block. All right. And these were apparently cool at one point, but apparently there was bad blood. If you remember that classic throwback clip of, you know, Chief Keef, Boss Top, stealing things from Chief Keef. There was all these kind of, you know, these stories going around. The academics covered it. You know, Chief Keef's manager, Blood Money, ended up losing his life. So there was a lot of back and forth and beef between Front Street and O Block and disrespect and dissing people's dead homies. And, you know, Chief Keef never posted King Von after Von died. And a lot of people have wondered what that's all about, man. And, you know, I'm not going to get into it in this video. Maybe let me know in the comments if you think that I should break this down even more. But the unfortunate truth is that, like, a lot of people believed that Fredo Santana really had a lot of PTSD. And people believe that he was using drugs, Xans, lean, all sorts of prescriptions to cope with his past trauma from the streets. You know, them teardrops, there were probably real tears behind them teardrops, man. And he even once actually tweeted himself. So he once tweeted that his trauma was so bad. All right. He once tweeted that his trauma was so bad that when it was Halloween and kids were coming to his crib for trick or treat, he was reaching for his gun like who ringing the bell. Now, this is a funny little jokey tweet, but there's real trauma behind that. And he tweeted a bunch of times about how he was struggling to face up to the demons from his past. You know, a lot of tragedies that he'd faced over the years. He said, I was running from my old life, trying to get high. I didn't want to face them demons, man. Okay. And a tragic tweet that he would make in 2017 as well. Okay, it saw him saying that he was hoping at one point to be the face of showing dudes to slow down off the drugs, don't throw your life away, being rock stars and getting high just because you got PTSD. Now, this is very sad to look back on because he would lose his life less than a year after this. And in 2017, his health issues did begin to emerge publicly. So he was hospitalized in March of that year after having a seizure, and he blamed his heavy workload and his poor sleep schedule. Okay. But unfortunately, there was probably more going on behind the scenes, right? He captured a picture. He said, when you're working hard and get no sleep, you sleep deprived and have a light seizure. And that was along with a picture, a famous picture of him in the hospital. All right. You know, that was a really sad situation. Now, his friends did rally around him. There was another famous pic. I don't know whether it was this specific hospital visit or another, but we saw XXXTentacion going viral, visiting Fredo in the hospital.
My dog X and put up on me, real nigga.
Sad to look back on, man. So he would later be diagnosed with epilepsy after he continued having seizures. And, you know, even with medication and treatment, he would continue having seizures and he would continue fighting with these health issues, man. And he ended up in the hospital once again in October of 2017. And he said in a tweet, he said that he was found mid-seizure bleeding from his mouth on the floor of his house. He said, Gino found me on the floor shaking, bleeding out the mouth, having a seizure. That could have been the end. And it's just so sad to read that, man. It was a scary moment. You know, he admitted himself that it could have been the end of him. And he even tweeted a little while after this as well that he was actually planning on going to rehab. Okay, he said, I'm getting help. I might just go to rehab. But unfortunately, it didn't seem like he got the help that he needed, man. And there were clips that were going around, apparently showing a studio session just 3 days before he passed away. And, you know, he was in the studio. He was doing his thing. I mean, you know, does he look healthy? I mean, I don't know if he looks unhealthy. He in there with Young Lean, man. He was in the studio with Young Lean, still making moves in business, still making moves behind the scene with all the legendary rappers, still putting out music all throughout them years. You know, he was still putting out music. He was rocking with Young Lean and, you know, in the studio and doing his thing. And it's just so sad to see what ended up happening just 3 days after this, you know, from being on such a high and working and making things happen in the industry, man. He would unfortunately pass away just 3 days after this. He would be found dead in his apartment in Los Angeles on January the 19th, 2018, and he passed away just age 27, man. Super sad situation. The LA County Coroner's Office confirmed that he died around 11 p.m. An autopsy was pending. Max O'Cream reacted to the news on Instagram. He said, damn, man, I'm lost for words right now. I'm crying my ass off, Fredo. I love you. Real savage. And, you know, it was just really, really sad, you know, the obituary talking about all of the impact that he'd had in the Chicago drill scene. You know, he really, really was a big part of building up that scene over those years. And, you know, they pay tribute to him, a lot of his friends and celebrities, and he really had a lot of impact and influence in the industry, man.
Chicago rapper Fredo Santana has reportedly died at age 27. Lil Durk confirmed Fredo's passing on Twitter. Drake, among other celebs, family, and...
So Dirk said in that picture, man,
Lil Durk
said, "This one effed my head up. I can't even lie. Rest up, young king." And so this video kind of recapped a lot of the drama that he was in over the years. You know, and a lot of people just reacted with shock. You know, a lot of people reacted with shock. There's a whole bunch of people that reacted. You know, they were just heartbroken over the loss of Fredo Santana, man. It was super sad. You know, Snapdog said he was just in LA with him a few weeks ago, was trying to get him in the booth. He said he was just trying to get his health back right, man. You know, really, really sad situation. A lot of really legendary people. I think that's Tay Capone saying just woke up to this crazy hood legend, man. Even Tony Yayo said R.I.P. This guy was really having a lot of influence, man. He was really having a lot of influence, getting love. Even Twister said, "I remember Fredo Santana as a kid from Chicago who escaped the violence and lived his dream, raised a beautiful family, and showed us he did it all his way." Everyone was just heartbroken, man. YBN Namir said he was sick over the news, man. Young Chop said, "I love you, bro. This one effed me up, man." Mozzie said he was speechless. Super, super sad, man. Super, super sad. You know, Rondo number 9. Just so, so sad. Super sad. So, you know, a lot of people paid their tributes. You know, Kodak Black paid his tributes as well in another post that was viral. We saw Kodak paying his tribute, saying, "Long live Fredo, man." And one of the craziest things is that even after his death, his people that should have been his enemies in the streets still showed love. FBG Duck did a tribute saying that Fredo was a real dude. He said, "R.I.P. Fredo Santana. I ain't never heard him say nothing about Tuka or no funny stuff about us. All right, out of all the years of beef, he was a real street dude, real, recognized, real. He actually respected him." And, you know, he's still missed to this day, man. I think the drill music scene never really fully recovered from this one. A lot of people miss him. And, you know, what looks really good and is really sweet is Chief Keef Tato. You know, they be looking out for his son Legend. They got him here with a tribute. There's other pictures, but I don't want to show his face and stuff. But, you know, there's this picture going around. They got a tribute to Fredo there. They be showing his son love and taking him places, man. And it's just truly sad to see a young man grow up without a father like this. But this is a story, you know, it's not like your average Chicago drill tale. You know, a lot of guys that lose their lives to the streets, to gun violence, you know, very easy to say gone too soon. But this is somebody who really escaped that. And he really lived life on his own terms. And unfortunately, you know, that trauma from the streets still came back to bite him, man. And, you know, his drug addiction and his health issues was just something that he unfortunately couldn't outrun. So rest in peace to Fredo Santana, man. Absolute legend in the game. You know, a lot of people have said to me, "Yo, we need a Fredo story. We need a Fredo story." I know it's not a full documentary, but I just wanted to take my time to just break down some of the most important history, some of the interesting facts about Fredo, and really just share that with you guys, man. So I hope you enjoyed that little breakdown. If you're watching this, I'm probably on vacation while you're watching this. So I pre-recorded a few kind of timeless videos for you guys to enjoy whilst I'm actually having some time off, because I know I've been going crazy with the daily uploads. All the Young Thug madness was all crazy. And I might still, who knows, I might still be uploading, reacting if there's something crazy going on while I'm on vacation. But yeah, this is just a classic throwback story, man. If you like this story, let me know down below. Let me know what other people you'd like me to cover, whose history you'd like me to break down, all of that good stuff, man. Because there's a lot of legendary figures that maybe didn't get their flowers, and I want to use this platform not just to react to the drama that's going on, but also to give people their flowers. You know, bring up names that maybe have been, I don't want to say forgotten. I think Fredo would never be forgotten, but names that maybe aren't getting their shine now in this day and age with all the mad stuff that's going on in this era. So I hope you enjoyed that, man. Let me know what you guys thought of that one, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.